This video is on how to calculate a percent yield. First, we need to make sure we know what a yield is. So yield is the amount of product that is made. So the amount of product. So when we're going to find a percent yield, we're going to figure out what percentage of the product did we make compared to what we could have made. So related to this, we need to make sure we understand two different types of yields, actual and theoretical. So actual is the amount of product that is actually produced in a reaction. So to get this value, you're either going to be given this in a problem. So given in problem, or you're going to actually do the lab and measure your product. So measure your amount. All right, so your theoretical yield is what you've actually been doing all along in all of these problems. This is your calculated maximum amount. So the maximum amount of product that it is possible to produce. And this you're going to get from a calculation. So to then find your percent yield, you have to compare these two. And you're going to compare them by taking your actual yield, so what you really got, divided by what you could have gotten. So your theoretical yield. And what you're going to find is your actual yield is going to be smaller because it's not possible to have more than your maximum. If you do, if that's what you measure, that means you have something more than what your product is that you're trying to measure in there, that you're measuring. So let's do a practice problem. An example here. All right. So this problem states, it says based on the given balanced reaction, reacting 37.0 grams of aluminum produces 60.6 grams of chromium. What's the percent yield of this process? Oops, not what I wanted to move. Okay, so we need to, oops, arrow's missing. We need to look at our numbers and say what are these numbers for? Because we already have a balanced reaction. So we're reacting 37.0 grams of aluminum. So this is a reaction amount. This is what we're going to use to calculate our theoretical yield. Because remember, we have to calculate that. And then when it says over here, we produce this much chromium, this is our actual yield. So what you're looking for is you're looking for an amount of a reactant that will give you your theoretical. That's what you're going to use in your calculation. And an amount of a product that is your actual yield. So you're going to be given these two numbers and you need to figure out which one is which. So to calculate our theoretical yield, we're going to do what we did in all our other problems. We're starting with grams. And we're ending in grams because our actual yield units are grams. So this is a mass-to-mass problem. So I'm going to make my path. So I've got 37.0 grams of aluminum. And I'm trying to compare to chromium, so that's what I need to find, is how many grams of chromium could I possibly make. Now remember, my theoretical yield is going to be more than my actual. So this should be more than 60.6. So grams, I have to convert to moles. And then I can convert to moles of my other substance, chromium in this case, and then I can convert back to grams. So this is going to look like this. So 37.0 grams of aluminum. All right, I'm going to first cancel out my grams, and I'm going to convert that to moles of aluminum. And when I look on the periodic table, for every 1 mole of aluminum, there are 26.98 grams. So my grams of aluminum divide out. So now I keep going. So I want to divide out moles of aluminum. And I'm going to change that to moles of chromium. And my mole ratio, my coefficients are 2 and 2. So now moles of aluminum divide out. So let's find my grams of chromium. So I cancel moles. Grams are what I'm converting to. And I look on the periodic table. For every 1 mole, there's 52.00 grams of chromium. All right, so now typing this into my calculator, 37 divided by 26.98 times 52, I get 71.3 grams of chromium. This is my theoretical yield. And it makes sense because it's more than what we actually produced, right? We can't produce more than our maximum. So now our percent yield is going to be our actual over our theoretical. Okay, so percent yield equals, so our actual is 60.6 grams over our maximum, our possible 71.3 grams times 100. Think about this like the actual yield is like your test score, how many points you got on the test, and the theoretical yield is how many points possible, how many points were on the test. There is no extra credit in reactions, so you can't have more than the maximum. All right, so 60.6 divided by 71.3 gives us a decimal, so times 100 gives us a percent. And I just carry percents to the hundredths place, so 84.99%. So not a perfect reaction, but not bad. I got 85% of what I could have gotten. We'll talk in class about some possible reasons why you don't get all that you could have maximum-wise, and you'll see that when we do a lab.